Ramsey Senior here.
First Lady Alicia Ramsey, and we are in the family room today, Friday. What's the date?
I don't know. Let me look. 18th.
18th. I have to put these on because I can't see on my phone, so I can share. We want you to make sure you tag somebody, invite them to be a part of the family room.
In the chat. So once you guys are coming on, you know the drill. We got a couple people popping in now. They'll start in now. So give us a thumbs up. Give us a good morning. Give us a fist bump. Give us a little bit of something to let us know you are with us and that you are in the house. What is up, Marvin? We got to give them a prize.
We have to give them something.
We got to give y'all a prize. Y'all need to sit as your shirt size or something. We need to give them something. We got to figure out something.
We do. Because they're always the first.
Yeah, y'all are getting ready to be our first prize winners.
I can DM Jackie, get their shirt sizes, and we'll do something.
Yeah, she'll get your shirt sizes. We'll get y'all hooked up. That'd be good. Mm-hmm. So listen, Jackie is in house. Sorry, Jackie, you came in second today on the feed. No, I'm joking. But so glad you're with us. We said we was
gonna get them both some. Their husband. And wife.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm seeing Marvin, then I saw the other. Okay, we get y'all something.
Hi, Taiwan. Good to see you this morning.
What's up, Ty?
Great to see you, D. Davis. So we are in the family room today. My name is First Lady Alicia Ramsey.
Pastor Don Ramsey, the senior.
Mm-hmm. And today is Flow With It Friday. You're going to like the topic today. And the reason I know you're going to like the topic is because he loves the topic.
The reason why you may not like it? Is that what you said?
No, I said the reason you may like it is because he loves the topic.
Really
and
do.
It is something he is passionate in regards to talking about.
I really am.
A lot.
A lot. Even when you don't want me to.
A lot. A lot.
Absolutely.
So I guess what we're doing is we're sharing Pastor's hobby with you today, because this is, it's important to have an outlet, to have a hobby, something that you like to do, something you enjoy doing. And so this is what we're doing today.
Jesse's in the house. Dee's in the house. Sorry about that.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not sorry. Go ahead.
No, but go ahead and finish.
Because then when I want you to talk, then you would go ahead.
No, that's all I was gonna say.
No, but your timing on that is just different. So tell them what we're going to talk about today. But we need you to share. Yeah. Invite somebody to be a part of the conversation.
No, we got to wait. They're still coming on now. Come on.
No, go ahead. I don't even remember where I was.
Okay. All right. But anyways, we're going to have a little bit of fun today, at least in my opinion. We're going to have a little bit of fun today. We're going to talk about some things today. One of the things we're going to talk about is stewardship, but more so stewardship as it relates to cars. People ask me about cars all the time. They ask me about how do you go about purchasing a car? What are your best steps? What are your advice for this, that, and the other? Well, today we're going to try to give you some. And I think it will be at least fun for me and all you guys that are car aficionados, ladies as well. We're going to have a good time.
So we want you to tag someone, invite them to be a part of the conversation. It is Flow With It Friday. And I need for you that if you are interested in purchasing a car, if you are interested in selling a car, this conversation is going to be for you.
Absolutely. Again, we're going to talk about one of my favorite passions, and that's cars. I love to study about them. I like to read up on them. I mean, even cars I'll never buy.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. And I was kind of throwing you to start the conversation.
Oh, that was the bone. Okay.
I was trying to give yourself I don't know if you want to give yourself a hand clap or praise.
I'll give myself a hand clap.
I was kind of throwing
Did I do it?
Oh no, your sound system is not working today.
My sound didn't work today?
No, it didn't. So you've been playing with what you've been doing. You messed it up.
No, all I came down.
Did you turn anything down?
No, I just turned it off.
So none of the buttons work? Press one of the other
Maybe.
ones.
It may not be jumping off today. That may not be happening today.
His sound system is not working.
This might be a tragedy.
His sound system is not working. It
might be the first tragedy that we have.
Let me tell you. All right. So what are we talking about today? People want to be a part of the conversation. And remember, at any time, if you have questions, put it right there in the thread. At the end, when we close out the family room, we always want you to put in your prayer requests as well, because we like to close out in prayer. Mm-hmm. And I want you to be in prayer for Pastor Ramsey because his sound is not working today.
Yeah, I might be a little bit depressed,
so
but we'll get through it.
He's going to be a little down that he can't add the usual antics.
Can't use my antics today.
He can't yet. We do have an extra camera in the room. So even though his soundboard isn't working, he does have additional technology that he has brought into the room today. We don't need any extra technology, but and look at the dog. Go sit down.
Where's he at?
He was right there in the shit. Go sit down.
What's up, Bishop? He just want to get a little bit of love.
Go sit down. Go sit down.
It'll be all right, man.
Jeez, if it's not the kids, it is
he just want to talk to his daddy
the dog.
for a minute. That's
yeah. And I must be the evil stepmama.
She definitely is.
Because he don't want to come over here by me. Hello, Sonny. It's good to see you. Hey, Brandon Johnson. Good to see you. Okay, Pastor, let them know what we're talking about today.
We're going to talk about cars today. We're going to talk about how to purchase them, what the mindset needs to be, what's important to know about them. We're going to get into all of that. So this will be an incredible subject for me today. I'm excited.
Okay, there you go.
And I'm so glad that you share my excitement on this. Y'all see that look? That's what I get all the time, every day. You see that, Marvin? That's what I have to live with, brother. Pray for me. Anyways, we're going to talk about cars a little bit today. So we'll start jumping into this, and you guys are welcome to ask questions and all of that. Just some basic information. Depending upon, everyone doesn't have the same perspective as it relates to cars. Everyone doesn't have the same perspective in terms of percentages, because basically there's a certain percentage of your income that should only be designated towards cars. If you buy one, that's going to require payments. Dave Ramsey is a guru, and I love his principles. They always recommend that you buy used, that you buy cash. And so we're going to see some things I think that'll be a little bit interesting today. But you guys feel free to ask us any questions. Not that I'm an expert, but I really enjoy the subject, so I do know a little bit about it. And we're going to talk about what needs to be the process, what needs to be the mentality, what needs to be the approach going into purchasing a car.
Right, but go for it. I mean, you keep saying what you're going to talk about.
Well, I thought you was going to jump in with me and say a little something.
Jump in right now. We've already introduced it for the last, 7 minutes?
7 minutes, okay. Normally, you're like, well, we ain't ready yet. Hey, give them some more time.
It's 7 minutes.
Okay, all right. We got it.
So I think you're off because you don't have your little soundboard.
Yeah, my sound, my inability to have sound is kind of throwing me off a little bit. So y'all be patient with me today, and we will get into it.
Good. So there's already some good dialogue going on here.
Bring it.
Kyla says, a new car in our family. She's believing the Lord for that. Danica says the twins need a car, before they go to college.
Great.
Lauren says, in what situations would you lease a car and not buy? So here we go. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, great questions. I think I'll jump on the lease right out the gate here. Normally, I would never lease a car. Typically, when people lease cars, Dave Ramsey doesn't call it a lease. He calls it a fleece. I think it's really amusing how he says that, but then it could be some reality to that. Typically, I would only lease a car. I would only encourage a person to lease a car if they had a business that they can write it off through. Because if it's under your business and your business is properly, documented and licensed and so on and so forth, you can actually use it as 100% tax deduction if it's on your business account. Now, you can also buy a car through your business as well, and you can depreciate the car every year in your taxes. So your accountants will know how to do all of that. But I really would encourage somebody to buy a car. I'd rather buy a used car than to pay payments right out of the gate, especially if you don't have a lot of money to put down on it on a new car.
Paris says interest rates are so high right now.
Yeah, they are. But you know what? The interest rates are good if you have really, really good credits. Not to say that you don't, but if you have really good credit. We never go through the car dealerships to get our credit for the car if we're going to purchase it and pay payments on it.
Okay. Slow down and explain that to them.
Okay.
Say that again and then explain why.
Example, what I do is we recently got my wife's truck.
So what he is saying is that when you buy a new car and they offer to finance it through the dealership that you purchase it from, we never do that. So tell them why you don't do that for when you buy vehicles.
I don't do that because I go and get pre-approved before we even go to the dealership. I think that's a must.
All right. So how do they do that?
I would recommend credit unions, looking at credit unions first. Your new car is
right. I mean, you don't have to use my example or your example.
No, I know I don't, but I'm doing this for a reason.
Okay.
That the car that I drive, the truck that I drive right now is we've had it for a lot of years.
It was my truck.
It was her truck. We We got that through a loan. I used a loan through a credit union, and at that time, car's like 9 years old. At that time, it
Mhm.
was 0.05%
Mhm.
if you have good credit.
Mhm. But okay, we need to get them to know what are the steps that they take about to get pre-approved. Because what we said was that if they go to purchase a car, they should not get it through the dealership at the car lot. You suggested they go to a credit union.
Yeah, I'm suggesting that you go to a credit union.
And
You
how
go
do
to,
they do that?
you do that just if you have a credit union. If you don't, like example, in this situation, back when we got the Range Rover, back when we got your truck, the last one, what I did was I went to a credit union and got pre-approved for a brand new car before I even went to the dealership and even talked to them, probably a couple weeks before. The reason why I did that is because back then you can get it for like, 0.0 something percent if you have really good, great credit. And we did. And so the reason why I do that is so that you can shop every aspect of the car. Most people, when they look at buying cars, they only look at, okay, what can I get this car for? The last question you ever want to answer when you get to a dealership is how much you can pay every month. That's the first thing they're going to ask you to kind of set you up. And you never tell them that. You say, I'm basing my budget off of overall cost of the car. But anyways, I would have a credit union account with maybe $100 in it, a couple $100 in it, just for when I wanted to get a loan if we needed to purchase a car or a used one.
So what should they do
You go to the credit union
and do what?
and open up an account. Well, first of all, look at the credit ratings that they have. Look at the interest rates that they have for cars or homes or whatever it is that you want to do, and see if that's one that you like. And if you can qualify for that rate, I would just sit down with them and you tell them what you're thinking about getting. This is one or two different cars I'm thinking about getting. Can you give me a pre-approval form? They'll get your information. They'll run your credit and all of that. They'll give you approval. The approval is good for quite a while, maybe a couple, 2-3 months or so. And then you take your time shopping for the car, but do all your homework before you go to the lot.
Okay, so after they get the pre-approval at a credit union for a good interest rate, when they go and they find a car they like, then what?
Well, after I leave the credit union, I'm not going to the car lot yet. I'm going home and I'm going to make a phone call and find out, okay, what is the license plate cost for a new whatever car every year? And what is the insurance on this car?
Okay.
Because
So
if all you look at is payment, you
Yeah.
can really get shot for those other expenses.
So after you get your pre-approval at a credit union, which he is suggesting you go to the credit union instead of going through the dealership, you go home, you call to see how much the plates are going to cost and how much insurance is going to cost for that vehicle.
Absolutely.
And then after that,
you want to do your homework on the car. I still wouldn't go to the dealership yet.
okay.
Most of the time, by the time I go to the dealership, I've probably read up on the car for 3 months, 2 or 3 months. And it's not that you
2 or 3 years.
well, sometimes, yeah. This last time, yeah. But the point is, it's not that you got to go that deep with it, but you need to know something about the car. What I love about cars nowadays is that I don't care what your budget range is. If your budget range is a VW Bug, or if your budget range is a Bentley, whatever your budget range is, what I love about today's cars and the way that they're made is that all of them, including the cheaper versions, are made with such good quality that you can drive them for 200 to 300,000 miles if you properly take care of them.
Marvin wants to know the difference between a credit union versus a bank.
Credit unions they're a little bit more private. So banks are bigger institutions, and their rates they're typically going to be higher. They're typically going to be higher. Now, we've gotten a couple of good rates before, maybe once before with a bank, but typically I've always dealt with credit unions because when you have good credit, they're typically going to be able to beat all dealership rates, and they're going to be able to beat the big box banks. They're going to be able to beat those rates as well. So that's typically where I go.
Okay, I know where you go. They were just asking can anybody go to a credit union? Anybody? Because a lot of times they'll see it says teachers credit union, UAW credit union. So can anyone go to a credit union?
There are a lot of credit unions that anyone can go in and get an account.
Okay.
So that's what you want to look for. It maybe not teachers a credit union or something like that if you're not in education or do whatever the qualifications are for that. But there are many, many credit unions out there of all different types of shapes and sizes. And I think all credit unions are typically going to beat banks when it comes to getting your car loan through.
That's good. Danica says, I just paid my car off today. I remember
Awesome.
Pastor saying that car payment, put the car payment in your savings account, and that's exactly what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
So since we don't have our
We gotta give you a
sound
fake
today,
hand clap because we don't
we're
have
giving
sound.
you a hand clap today. Lauren says congratulations to her because it feels so good. She paid off her car as well. Paris says this: my car is paid off, but I'm having lots of problems now. Should I replace or repair?
I would look at the possibility of repairing first. It depends on it's going to depend on your finances. Now, if you have a lot of discretionary income and different things of that nature, you may want to look at something different. But to me, I think the first case scenario would be, okay, let's look at, is it going to be simpler to pay for this repair here? And you take it to a couple of shops. Don't just go to one. But is it going to be better off to do this in the long run? Example, like the truck that I drive, which used to be hers. We recently had some repairs on it. The repairs were fairly expensive, but here's the way I looked at it. I looked at it as, okay, I looked at it from the standpoint that, what you laughing at?
Her daughter says repair in all caps. Her daughter lives in Texas.
Oh yeah.
So her daughter's on here and said repair, exclamation point.
And I would say the same thing for Paris. It would be to repair and take it to the right shop.
Mm-hmm.
Take it to the right shop, because I looked at it from the standpoint, okay, yeah, this repair is going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have this car much longer forever or anything like that, but still we may want to keep it. You never know. So we went ahead and did the repairs. Car's been running fine, and that just enables me to take my time, and we may or may not, and that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I'm cool with it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Candace Baker says this: we just checked out Members Credit Union and they had interest as low as 1.99%. The banker also let us know that rate could go down depending on credit and history of credit.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely appreciate you all, and I'm definitely taking notes, which is good.
That's great.
On top of
because
that.
When you go to the dealership, if you end up getting a loan, they're going to send you to the loan officer back there, and he or she is going to walk you through everything that you need to do and so on and so forth. But the reality is, what I love is that most people, when they look at cars, they just look at negotiating the car. They don't look at anything else. You can negotiate the car. You can negotiate the interest rate. Example, when this car was new 9 years ago, when we got the SUV, we said, I went out there, and once I made the numbers make sense with the dealer, he said, okay, I'm gonna send you back to our finance director. Well, I know what that is. A lot of times they're gonna try to sell you a bunch of extra stuff, some of the stuff you don't need when you go back there, but I know how to deal with all that. But when we got back there, I knew I was already pre-approved. So I just let him talk. And I said, well, what's your interest rate? No, he goes right into the interest rate thing. And I just said, well, listen, I'm already pre-approved. If you can't beat 0.9, then we really don't have anything to talk about. So let's just go on to the next part of it. And that sometimes kind of blows them away, because you can literally negotiate that rate if you have a really good credit. Now, if you got the kind of credit that you had to pray to get the approval for, then your options are going to be limited.
Dolores Ryan says this: it's a seller's market currently. Should I wait?
It depends on what your situation is. Like right now, if we want to wait, we can. There are cars out there that if you were to get it, you would have to order it, and you wouldn't get it for 6 months, and that's fine with me. But we can wait, if we need to. So I think it's just about taking your time to figure out what's best for you. But with the seller's market, it really is a seller's market. But here's what you got to think about too. Let's say you got a car that's paid off and you got cash to go with it. I think a lot of people really need to be delivered from the mentality that I'm always going to have a car payment.
Right.
Because people that think like that are usually really struggling economically because of that mentality. Example, if the average car payment in America is about $540. If you take that same $540 every month and you invest it in a Roth IRA, between 30 and 70, you're going to have about $5 million in that account when you get 70. So that money can do a whole lot of things. And that's the power of compound interest in addition to investing. So a lot of times a car loses about 60 to 70% of its value in the first 4 years that you have it. And so it's the most depreciating item that you're going to buy. But all of that said, depending upon your situation is dependent upon, what you can pursue, what you can approach. And sometimes what I think is best sometimes is not looking at, okay, if I really stretch my budget, I can get this. How about this mentality? You know what? If I work my budget right, I can pay this off in 3 years.
Amen. That's good.
Mhm.
I just had a thought. I wonder, is that chip that we put in the back to record?
That might be it.
That might be the reason why. Nicole Crenshaw says this. I use the credit union when I purchase my cars, and after the car is paid off, I allow the credit union to keep $100 in an account so they can keep the account open. When you get an auto loan, the credit union will open the account so you can make the payment. I do this so I can just call them if I need a loan in the future. Since we have a good relationship, I don't have to do that much.
That's a wonderful approach. That's a great ideal, and that's the perfect attitude to have.
Good.
And credit unions are going to be more personal too. Once you've been in there 4 or 5 times, they're going to know who you are. They're going to be familiar with your face. So when it's time to go in and get something done, it's easier to get it done.
Lauren told Paris that she just wants a new car.
That's it, Paris. Don't think about it. Don't even think about it.
Why your daughter trying to throw you under the bus?
Drive 200,000 miles in that car first.
She trying to throw you under the bus. Is your sound system working over
Let's
there?
see.
Who figured it out? Your wife.
Oh, here it is.
Your wife.
See, before I can give you credit, you're already giving yourself credit.
Your wife figured it out. Your wife figured it out.
Y'all know what I'm getting ready to do.
We're equally yoked. What would you do without your wife? What would you do without your wife? What would you do without your wife? Okay, I'm done.
All right, you done?
Yep.
I'm back.
Kayla says this.
Okay.
We have a 2010 Chevy Equinox. We had a transmission repaired twice last year, and now it cut off on us again. We took it to the shop due to having a 2-year warranty on the transmission, but when we got the call, it's the engine, and that's $6,000 to fix. So is it better for us just to sell for parts or buy something better? We've been in that situation before. It's like it because it's so costly to repair it?
Because it's so costly. If it's so costly to repair,
$6,000.
That's a lot of money.
I mean,
you can buy a used car for $6,000 and get the right one.
Yeah.
But I would look at selling it for parts or whatever they want to use it for, whatever value you can get out of it, and using that towards something else used and bringing some money to the table with it. People have this mentality sometimes. If you think about it, how many car companies now are offering loans that are 6 years long?
That's true.
72 months. Everybody and their cousin is. You know why? Because that's 12 more months that you pay compound interest.
Explain that to them, compound interest, because she's young too.
It's just interest that occurs every day. So like if you look at your bank and your bank says, well, hey, it's December, Christmas is coming. You need to buy your kids a gift. So we want to give you a blessing, and we're going to forego your payment for this month and add it to the back end of the loan. Well, of course they are, because of the compound interest that you would pay over that period of time. Compound interest has to do with interest that's accrued daily, and it adds up really fast.
What do you say to people, and I already know the answer, but I need them to know about these buy here, pay here places?
I think it's the worst place you can go in the world to buy a car.
And tell them why.
Because they wait for people that are broke and got bad credit. That's what they're waiting on to come through there. And then nobody else will give you a loan for a car, and then they'll give you one. You're like, praise the Lord. They're calling your friends and everything else, but they're charging you 9, 10%, 12%, 15%. But you're so happy over the fact that you're going to be able to drive something that you're not thinking about that. So by the time you pay for that car, you pay for it 3 times.
Yeah, then the people don't think about that. Dolores says this: we have an account that we don't touch that we use for car purchases. Haven't had a car payment in years thanks to the financial principles taught at New Life.
Awesome.
That is good. Candace says this: I recommend Car Shield if you are paying on a car that no longer has a warranty through the dealership. It definitely helps you save on car repairs.
Well, I'm glad she said that, because that reminds me, I've gotten car warranties through our credit union before.
That's right. Sure have.
Johnny had his car for how long? I mean, 8, 9 years.
And he would have still kept it. Yeah. But somebody crashed into him. Yeah.
And man, and that car was old, and I had a warranty. We bought it used. He had it for a good 8 years.
Yeah. Because he got it when he turned 16 and then he graduated from college. And Yeah, he still had
right?
it.
Yeah. So the interest, what is it? The warranty wore off about a year before that car got totaled.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's because I went to the credit union. They will give you a really good warranty on a used car. You just go in there with all the information on your car, the age of your car, the mileage, all those types of things. Has it been in an accident? All of those things are things that they will ask you. Now, based
Mm-hmm.
on what you tell them, they will come up with a fee that you could pay for a warranty for that car.
Oh, that's
And
good.
and we did that. We bought John's cash. We saved up for
Mm-hmm.
about 4 years, and we paid cash for his first car. And then and then what we did was is that when he was getting close to the warranty going out, I went to the credit union and bought one for it. And it's a certain amount per year. You can probably pay per month or whatever if you want. For me, on something like that, I'm paying per year to be done with it. But if you can, and but no, it's a great security blanket.
It is. You bought that from Mr. Gill, may he rest in peace.
Mr. Gill,
A wonderful gentleman
great guy.
that helped us through that. And do you remember at his 16th party, we surprised him with a
Mhm.
car. And some of those kids, because he was at Carmel High School at the time, they were like, "Oh, I thought he was going to get a BMW. I thought he was."
Oh, I
We're
didn't hear
like,
that. Mhm.
yes, you did. Remember, people were making comments thinking he was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, he got a Honda." Yeah, he did get a Honda.
Yeah, but they was all jumping in it.
Yeah, because people know, but I'm not saying it like that. I'm
No, I
saying
get
it
where you're going.
because you
Go
remember
ahead.
people were making sarcastic comments to even you,
Mhm.
saying, "What are you gonna buy him this, that, and that?" And it's
Yeah.
like, we don't even think that
We
way.
don't think that way.
You know, we made sure it was something safe and
Mhm.
something, and we were not going to get him a new car at 16.
Yeah, no, it's a nice car. It's a reliable car. I mean, some of his coaches were driving that car. It was a Honda Accord. He loved it. It did him well. Those Hondas, what we love about those, you cannot kill them. I mean, if you will maintain them with oil changes, tune-ups, whatever it is they need, you can't kill them. Those are great, great cars. Any of their cars. So we just wanted to get him something that would be nice, something that he could be comfortable in, but also something that could get him through high school and hopefully college. That was
Right.
our goal.
Right. Because we've seen situations where people bought their 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds new
Yeah, we're not
cars.
doing all that.
And they would crash the cars,
Mm-hmm.
situations would happen, and they're just not responsible enough,
Right.
in our opinion. Nicole says this: gap insurance is important too. I got it in a crash and totaled my car, and the gap insurance will pay off the total of the car that the insurance doesn't cover after the depreciation value. I wonder, do some people still get liability insurance because they want it to be low?
Yeah, liability insurance is that if you crash, that's the lowest you can get. Like if you crash into somebody, it will cover
Mhm.
them.
It doesn't
It
cover
won't. It won't cover you.
anything.
I wouldn't recommend it. To me, if you got to get insurance like that, then get a cheaper car.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, I mean, we know somebody right now.
Mm-hmm.
We know somebody right now. She just talked to me about this the other week. They got a nice used car, and this person has handled their resources so well. They're thinking about, okay, I'll probably sell it. I'm gonna go ahead and sell this, but I'm not in any rush. I'll just park it. I'm good. And this is a nice car that somebody can get that's affordable.
Mm-hmm.
The person will let you go check it out. If somebody's gonna tell you they'll sell you a car, but you can't go get it checked out with a mechanic, I would never buy that
Don't
car.
buy it.
So there's a lot of ways you can get it. It doesn't have to be a dealership. Sometimes people that are a little bit older may get to a point where they don't want to drive or they can't drive anymore. I mean, a lot of times those are great situations simply because the car is so well kept.
Yeah, that's how we sold your mom's car.
Yeah.
We sold. Remember when my Grand Am? I love that Grand Am.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first new car when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And after the baby, after Johnny came, I couldn't fit Johnny really good in the back
Mhm.
seat. So we wanted to switch.
And we paid it off.
We paid it off. I think I was pregnant with Jeremiah at the time when we sold it. I was.
Mhm.
I think I was. And
I
it
got
was a nice car. Remember, their child was in high school or something, and they
yeah,
bought it
yeah.
from us.
Was in going to college.
Yeah, it
Ball
was going to
State.
college, so they bought the car from us. It was a good transaction, and we
Mhm.
made sure that it was checked out. We
Mhm.
did the same thing when we sold your mom's, So
Absolutely.
you really need to take time to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't jump. You can't impulse buy a car,
Right.
and a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Whenever it's an emotional purchase, it's the wrong one. It really
Mhm.
is. it might be a little bit old school, but I used to really believe in layaway back in the day because it made you think, do you really want this while you're
Mm-hmm.
paying on it? And you're
Mm-hmm.
not paying interest and all of that, and you can't have it until it's paid for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those things, I look at having your own personal system like that. Someone mentioned about earlier, and I think it's great. And that is that you have a car account.
Mm-hmm.
When you're done paying payments, keep paying payments, but you don't pay them to the bank, you pay them to yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
put them in that. And so now 2 years later, I drive that car for 3 more years. Okay, 3 more years. Now I have a used car that's paid for and
Right.
$5,000 with it to go in to put down on the car. Now they say, hey, we'll give you a 5-year loan. No, I want 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. Kayla has a question. She said, "This may be random, but what do you think about vans? Talking about minivans, child."
What do I think about bands just in general?
That must be what she's asking. I
Um,
think I like it's cool. The whole door thing. I like. Yeah.
I mean, I think they're cool depending upon the needs of the people. I think it's
They
about,
have 2 little ones too.
okay, yeah, you get little ones. Sometimes those can be perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people we know have had them or either have them now. We knew someone, members that bought a new Honda. And I went and checked it out. They wanted to bring it outside for me to check it out. I thought it was nice, and it's going to be reliable. So really, it's about what you like that's in the realm of reality as it relates to your choices, what you can get, and you can get those used, you can get them
Mm-hmm.
new. So I think it's about what you like / what you can afford.
That's it. Josh White says this. I've been driving my 1992 Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
69,000 miles on it. He
That's not
said,
a lot of miles.
everybody tells me to buy a new car. Nope. It drives, no problem with it, and I'm good.
You know what? And I say right on, because that's how people start learning how to save money and put money up and get themselves to a good position so that they're comfortable with what they have.
And that's what Dolores said. Only 69,000 miles. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good. What were them cars back in the day? All the young men wanted an Impala.
Impala. Well, some of them were Impala.
They wanted, that was the code, the Impalas. Remember, they would all drive these big, your first cars were these used cars, but they were big cars.
Yeah, they were really big cars. My first car was $300, and it was an Impala,
Mm-hmm.
and it had 4 doors, a big old boat.
Mm-hmm.
And my father bought it from somebody at work, and he worked on it for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, it was rolling nice. It just sucked up all my allowance from cutting grass. Well, the money I would earn from cutting grass
gas
and everything else, it all went to gas.
But you could get like $3 worth of gas.
Yeah, back then you could.
Remember back in the day?
Yeah, that's what I love about electric.
$10 would give you a full tank. I was going to ask you that question. What is this whole, during the Super Bowl, all the ads were about electric cars, electric SUVs, What are your thoughts on electric vehicles?
I love them. And it's just, to me, it's something about being able to come home and plug it in.
But say why you love them. Give them kind of the
I
gist.
I love them for a lot of reasons. I'm gonna get there. I'm going slow, but I'll get there. But I love them for a lot of reasons. One, because of the obvious. One, it's electric. You're not going to put gas in it. I just put gas in the car, in our SUV, the 9-year-old. I just put gas in that a few minutes ago. I put $72 in it, and I had a quarter tank of gas when I stopped to get gas. It's the difference between what that means. I would have paid about $90-something to fill it up.
I know.
And that's where gas is. But my whole point is this: you're gonna pay a price. You may pay a little bit more for it, but the long run of it, you don't have an engine. There's no tune-up. There's no blown gasket. There's nothing. The only thing that you're paying for are tires and brakes.
And are the prices increasing? Where do they go?
Prices are.
If they wanted to purchase an electric car, so if they're saying, I want my next car to be electric, what is the process?
I would look at, I'll just begin reading up on them. You can go to Car and Driver. You can Google and look at a lot of credible sources to read up on them. Hyundai makes them now. They have one called the Ioniq 5. The Ioniq 5 is going to sell a lot. It's a nice little crossover is what it is. And you can probably get it in the 40 range, like 40,000.
Crossover.
Crossover to me is like a combination between a car and a truck.
I'm thinking Allen Iverson crossover. What's a
Yeah, that's
I'm thinking
basketball.
right? So that's what I said.
But that's
You
what
said
they call them.
crossover.
That's what dealerships call them. They
Right.
call cars like that a crossover, that particular one. And then you get SUVs. Genesis is coming out with one called a GV60. In about 8 months, they'll have one called a GV70 that you can get in that. But there's a lot of them out there. Ford has the Mustang Mach-E is what it's called. Like I said, Hyundai has quite a few of them coming out. Tesla obviously has them.
Do they have waiting lists for these vehicles?
No, the way it works right now with a lot of them, with some of them they may, but
Okay.
like with Tesla right now, you don't even need to go to the dealership to order from them. You go online, you look at what you want, and you order it right there. That's why you got to do a little bit of homework before you do that, and then you pay a deposit through the online. It comes in, but here's what I love about it.
What you love about it?
What
You
I
can
love
order.
about it is that when
It's
delivery,
like going to a vending machine.
it is when you go to pick up your car on delivery,
Mhm.
you can look at it and say, you know what, I didn't think it'd be that small. I don't think I'm going to go with it. And guess what? You don't lose anything
Mhm.
because you've waited 4 or 5 months for that car to get built. They know they can sell it in 24 hours. And that's exactly what they do. So that's one thing that's cool about it.
You see that? Josh said, Doc know them cars. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Give yourself a hand clap because you do know these days.
I think I'll do that since Sound on the Track is back. Here we go.
Legathia says this: does the electric car cause your electric bill to go higher?
A little bit, not much. I haven't noticed a big jump in ours. Our electric bill are pretty high anyways, but I haven't noticed a big jump in ours at all. And I got the charger that you can buy and have it installed in your garage, and you pump it in. You can plug it in because you also have that option. You can just plug it in through a regular outlet, but it'll take a long time before it
I
gives
guess
you
so.
some good miles. So when you
Like
get
a
the
house
charger,
outlet, just plug your.
yeah, they got them like that.
Shoot.
That's what I used to do when we was in that rental when our house sold real fast and we were waiting on this.
You were just sitting there plugging it in,
I did, but
like the toaster.
yeah, I could do it, but the next day I had enough miles to do what I needed to do. So, but I was waiting. I had bought the charger then, but I was waiting until we had a home, and then I got it installed in the garage. And you just pop it in, and it'll send you a text message when it's full and shuts down.
I tell you. Speaking of that, can we have a moment of silence for my air fryer died yesterday? I plugged it in. I had the chicken seasoned. I had the chicken in the air fryer.
I'm still in my moment of silence. Moment of silence is supposed to be silent, ain't it?
Okay, let's have the moment of silence for my air fryer.
Okay, we're back.
I'm hurt. I plugged it in, it started, and then it just died on. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming though.
Yeah, because we've been killing it.
I know. We love the air fryer. We don't even fry with oil anymore.
We don't even fry with oil anymore.
So I'm gonna have to invest in a new one. Sharon Hampton says, don't forget them Chevy Caprice. You know the Chevy Caprice? That was back in the day.
Oh, back in the day,
because we were
yes.
talking about Impalas.
Yeah, when you're talking about old school, yeah, Chevy Capri was it. That was it.
I had a Pinto. They don't even make those no more.
Bonnevilles. No, yesterday I had a
They
Pinto.
make Pintos?
I had I had a Chevy Vega.
What is
You got to
that?
be 50 years old to know what that is right there. It was a Chevy Vega.
I had a
ugly.
Pinto, and mine's had holes in the floor like the Flintstones cars.
Yeah.
So we put a rug over it, and if you would, you could have actually put your feet through it like the Flintstones.
You can do that in my Volkswagen Beetle.
And it would drag so far to the ground.
I had like 4 hoopties before I got a car.
I had all kinds of hoopties. I had the different color hood than the rest of the car.
So did I.
Did you have that too?
Yeah.
Shoot.
I was trying to fix my fender back there, so I would put the stuff on it and sand it down. Then I had to put the primer on there. So I drove down the street with my car with primer and then faded paint.
And I had one for you. I had one that you had to drive with 2 feet so it wouldn't cut off.
Yep.
You have one of them too?
I had one where a friend of mine had it where our clutch went out, and we used to have to push him. And then he would pop the clutch. He'll pop the clutch to start it. I'd be like, man, can you give me a ride up to the store? Yeah, man, but you gotta give me a push. So I push the car, then he popped the clutch. I jump in the side, we going up to the store.
I never had the patience to learn how to drive a stick.
That's the only car I learned how to drive.
People tried to teach me. I'm like, I don't have patience for all
in
this.
the snow, I was 14.
And you would have think since I could drive with 2 feet that I would have been able to do that. And that was something that was unfair growing up. It was when my brothers turned 16, they already knew how to drive because they had been driving
Mhm.
for years. It's like the boys in the neighborhood, all the dudes, they knew how to drive, but it was like I didn't
Mhm.
because I was never given that opportunity. But it was like expected for a boy at 14, 15 to know how to drive.
I had a friend of ours who had an older brother. He started teaching us how to drive on a stick shift in the wintertime
Mhm.
when I was 14. And by the time I was 15, my father would say, "Here, boy, take these keys, go up the street, give me a gallon of milk." And I going up there, come on back on the regular road, everything.
Hello.
I figured if I got arrested, he had to get me out.
You
He
know what
sent
I'm
me.
saying? Hello, Mother Gigi. It's good to see you today. Hope
What's
you're
up, Miss
feeling
Gigi?
well. Taiwan says this. Yeah, them big cars was the 98 Delta or the Cutlass.
Cutlass was another one.
It was another one.
Buick.
Yeah. Kayla says this. In your opinion, what SUVs or car brand SUVs are reliable and nice, especially in that mid range?
Mid budget, range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are. I was just saying that earlier. Just about any brand you like, um, uh, any budget that you're at,
Mm-hmm.
they make a quality car for it. So
Mm-hmm.
like Hyundai, they own Genesis. Hyundai owns Genesis, and Genesis started creating this car that everybody's going crazy over. It's called the GV80. It's an SUV, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
luxury SUV, but it's made by Genesis. So if the car was, if you were to buy the same equivalent of a Benz, you're gonna be like 100,000, 110,000. Whereas with this one, it might be 70, 72. But what people don't realize is what Genesis did is they went and got the top designer from Bentley and brought him in, and he is designing all of those cars. They got great warranties, 6 years, 60,000 miles, 100,000 mile on the powertrain and all of that. So you want to ask me for that mid-budget area, I would say Hyundai's good. Honda is always good. I've never been into Toyota or things like that. Nissan are real solid. All of those cars in those areas are nice. And then there's more different types of dealerships that are coming out too.
Definitely. Lagathia says this. I had a car that started with no keys.
Mhm.
She said my kids thought that was amazing. At least we had transportation. I know that's right.
Yeah.
I definitely remember though all of those days dealing with those type of things. Dolores says this. Where did you plug it in? Your car? Like where do you plug your car in it?
Just here in the garage.
What if they live in an apartment?
If they live in an apartment, if you live in an apartment, I'd be thinking house before I'm thinking car anyway. So if I'm in an apartment, I'm probably driving something used as long as I can and keeping it up really well. But a lot of the cars now that they make them where there's chargers everywhere, like Tesla, they have chargers in every city
At Myers
in the country.
you can charge it,
And
but I've never driven
and
this.
yeah, she haven't driven it yet. I'm trying to talk her into it, but
Mm,
she thinks she got to do all this stuff. It's not that
I
it
don't
really
know.
isn't.
But it's you know what, and it's low to the ground. You know, I'm like
But I
that.
told you I can change the suspension.
That's what you said, but I don't know. I ain't interested in it. Dolores says,
The car breakdown, you could be interested.
"No, I'm not. I'll drive the other SUV."
Mm-mm.
Dolores says this. I want to learn to drive a stick. Peter won't teach me in the Porsche. I guess he won't.
There was probably a reason because he would have to teach you in the Porsche.
I guess he
Oh,
won't.
and Volkswagen too. Any of their products are good.
Over. So we've been talking about cars today on Flow With It Friday. Pastor made suggestions of the best place to get your loan. Share that with them again if someone came on the thread late. If there's anything there you want to go through your things.
Yeah, there's some things I want to talk about on here that I mentioned earlier that if you can go without a payment while you're trying to get a house or just even beyond that.
Mhm.
What most people don't understand about millionaires, I wrote some of this information down. There's a lot of different books you can get to get this information, but the average millionaire drives a car that's over 4 years old, has over 40, 50,000 miles on it, and is paid for.
Mm.
They buy used cars, even though you're millionaires, and they pay cash for them when they do. So they go without payments. The average millionaire, let me go down here. Let me see where we're at. Okay, here's a couple of things I put down here. What you need to do before buying a car.
Okay. So these are the things that you need to do
Yeah.
before buying a car. All right. So go through each one slowly for them,
Okay.
please.
Number one is study everything you can about the car that you desire and also have several other options
Okay.
that are
That's number
budget wise more better than that, that are better than that.
Number
Number
two.
two, find out how much the car insurance, I mentioned that earlier, car insurance and license plates are going to cost before you buy a car.
Right. Number three.
Get pre-approved before you go to the dealership.
Okay. Number four.
Number four is understanding that a car can be driven up to 300,000 miles if it's well taken care of.
A car can be driven, Paris,
From 200 to
to
300,000 miles.
200 to 3,000. Just ask Josh. He's on his way with a 69.
And well, I know people that have cars right now with 200,000 miles on them, they still drive.
And they still drive them. So
Yeah. There you go, Paris.
If it's running well, you can do that.
Busting out, probably.
Right. Number five.
Be willing to talk. Be willing to walk away from the deal if it's not up to what you're willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they're paid to not let you get out of the store, but you got to be willing to walk away from a deal. Don't get married to a deal, and excitement is only going to take you so far. Excitement is not there when you pay your first payment on it. I can guarantee you that. So don't base your decision on, I just got that. I have. No, you have to have what you can afford.
That's
Chevy makes a lot of great products. I'm just thinking over and over with all these questions, but I'm thinking over and over. Chevy makes a lot of good products that you can do. Don't buy luxury cars until you get to a place where you can do it fairly comfortably. I wouldn't do it.
Because let me tell you, when you got to put that premium gas in, and I'm pumping that something a gallon gas.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows
Trouble you've seen?
the trouble I see.
But see, that's why I like electric too.
Nobody knows my sorrow.
Y'all forgive her. Y'all forgive her. She knows not what she did. But that's one of the reasons why. That's another reason why I like the electric. Example. If when I filled that car up today, $72, and I had a quarter tank of gas, so let's make it $95, right? To fill that up. If I would have went and charged my car and paid for it, because I got free supercharge now. But if I went and paid for the charge, it would be in the equivalent of about $8.
He's so happy with this electric car, y'all. And then he like to rub it in. He just likes to rub it. Yes, you do.
I love not going to gas station.
I know, but you like to share that often with me, especially right now.
I love doing that with her because she's going to have to get an electric car next time around.
No,
she will come around.
Because I will forget we forget to plug up the iPad. So I know I would forget to plug up the car. I never forget to plug the car up. I would forget.
And the thing about it is,
imagine getting ready to start up your car. I forgot to plug it up.
No, but here's the reason why you don't have to think that way.
Okay.
I don't have to charge that car every day. I can charge it up and not charge it for 4 days. It just depends on how much driving you plan on doing. And so the next day, if I feel like I'm going to need more, I pop it in there, charge it.
I guess
you can drive that thing 4 or 5 days and not charge it.
Don't be playing. Look, there you go, gaslight Marvin talking about let him shine, First Lady.
Let me shine up in this piece.
Let him shine.
Let me shine, Marvin. That's what I tell her all the time.
Hallelujah, help. Andrea says she is in Florida. Oh, wish I was in Florida.
Me too.
She says she's not filling it up. I'm with you. And then, so what I've been doing.
And then when it's freezing, I can just come on to the crib.
You know, I don't like going to the gas station anyways, but I understand. I understand the whole thing that we're dealing with the gas prices. But as you teach us in your messages, I'm not complaining. I thank the Lord that I can, pay for it. But
that's always been my attitude. I really don't. Jesus. I've never really complained about gas. And it's not because I have it like that. It's not that. It's just the fact that whatever it is, I'm going to have to pay for it. So I don't see the benefit of complaining about it. But again, another reason to roll electric.
Give yourself a hand clap of praise. We didn't say a siren sound.
I just thought I'd throw a little extra.
So you gave them tips on what is best if they're looking to buy a new vehicle. Research, I guess, is really, really important because you've been talking about taking their time. Now, what if their vehicle has broke down and they need one like right away?
Then they're going to have to pick up their timing on what they're doing. But at the same time, listen, get something super, super, super small and cheap and rent it for a week if you have to, before making an emotional decision, but you got to give yourself a few days
Mm-hmm.
to do a little bit of homework. And that's the power of the internet nowadays. A friend of mine, he rarely buys a car here in town. He buys them here in town,
Mm-hmm.
but he gets them from Florida. He gets them from everywhere. When you're shopping, you're not just shopping locally,
Yes.
you're shopping across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the competition is going to be high. Even in this market where people are buying cars and they got to wait for them to be built, the competition is still strong.
It is, and people are paying more for used cars.
Mm-hmm. And
if you have a used car that you can sell, people are paying good money for those.
Great point. That's a great point, because everybody looks at, oh God, I got to pay this money for this used cars. This is too much, but they're giving you too much for your car.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to consider, okay, what can I get for this bad boy?
Mm-hmm.
Just like our 9-year-old car out here, SUV that I drive, if we were to trade that in, I'm going to get more for it now
Mm-hmm.
than I would have got 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an offset there that you can look at as well.
Okay, Galen has this question.
Mm-hmm.
What about traveling with electric and recharging? How does that work?
I love it. But let me tell you how it works. The way it works is what I love about Teslas, they have supercharge stations all over the country now in every city. And what they do a lot of times is, like, if you're traveling, the supercharge station will be right on the edge of town that you're going through. And so when we went to Fort Wayne, and I forgot to charge the night before, but I still had enough, but I just wanted to get a little bit extra. So John wanted to run into Myers and get something, him and Judah, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they came out, I had all the juice I need, and then we drove right on back. So it's really not anywhere complicated. And a lot of people they call it range anxiety. They call it range anxiety when they're worried about whether they're going to run out. But think about it. I mean, the only time I ever need to use a supercharger is if I'm going out of town. And in most cities that we go to, I can go there without charging. I can get there without charging because of the range that I have on mine. And then at the hotels, they have chargers for it. If they don't have the specific kind for the car that you have, my car has this thing that's an adjustment. You can put that on the end of it, and then it goes into that charge, and you're good to go.
Range anxiety. So do people have that when it comes to running out of gas?
You should.
I know I'm not supposed to be rolling my eyes at you, so.
You already did.
Okay. They put this wonderful feature on cars that can tell you how many miles you got left before you run out of gas.
And people that wait until that light come on.
But then I still have
are not always the most
so
wise.
The light comes on, and if it tells me, shoot, I still got 50 miles left.
I don't play that. I just don't play it. I thought you were better than that. I thought I knew you.
Nah, I don't.
I don't even know you anymore.
Yeah, you don't know me when it comes to
that.
But
I told her, I said, don't call me if you run out of gas. I'm just telling you straight up.
And I sure wouldn't.
Yep.
We got a whole church.
You better call one of them.
I'll be right there on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be saying, please pick me up because I ran out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
And don't tell my husband.
Some psychopath pick you up.
No, I know how to detect that spirit of crazy.
Listen, ain't no spirits when you run out of gas. Just don't run out of gas. That's all you got to do.
I'm trying to work on getting myself together with that. I'm doing better. They
talk
about me all
ladies
the
in the pastor's aid, Tamika Perkins.
Tamika don't like to go to the gas station either.
I know she don't. I know
so
the word on the street.
Stacey and Tony, be honest about it.
Okay, so let's go with Stacey.
We be horrible. And Stacey is a former police officer, so I definitely will call Stacey.
Yeah, call Stacey. To
pick me up.
Stacey, answer your phone now.
And she's allowed to carry. She has a license to carry.
Yeah, me too. I'm just playing. Although I do.
Let me ask you this question. Would you drive an electric car to Florida?
Yeah.
You would?
I would.
Do you think that they really have those charging stations that frequently?
Absolutely. You can map it out on the app of the car before you even go.
Man, I'd be a little nervous about that.
That's why I drove it to Nashville that time.
And then how long does it take to charge?
It depends on what you see. When people think about charging, they always think, oh, yeah, I got to charge this all the way. Not necessarily. When I stopped to get some power in mine on the way back from Fort Wayne, right on the edge of town there, what I put on there, maybe
and so
80 miles.
So you can sit there. Oh, let me ask you this question.
I was there for a couple of minutes.
While you're charging it, can you have the radio and stuff on?
You can have the radio on. You can watch Hulu, Netflix.
Michelle Hart says, we got you, First Lady. Thank you. I appreciate it, because Michelle Hart has a gas card and she keeps money on her gas card so she can just come and fill me up.
Well, bring your gas card and come on get it. That's all I got to say.
You know, that happened to me when I was in high school. I was driving my hoopty. I was a senior in high school. And right at the entrance of the high school, my car stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, people coming and helping, trying to figure out, Alicia, what's wrong with your car? And they looking to try to figure out what was wrong with my car.
Yeah.
I was out of gas.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, girl, you out of gas.
Space.
And they pushed me into a space.
There you go.
I was like, oh, my bad. I didn't even care.
Yeah, but that was your beyond broke days.
But I was looking cute.
That's probably why they stopped.
So yeah, and they pushed my car right back into the school lot. And my car would break down. Now that I think about it, my poor daddy, my car would break down and he'd be like, what's wrong? I don't know. Where is it? Yeah. I don't know.
And see, somebody told me one time when Johnny was getting ready, when he knew we were getting ready to get something for John, my brother told me, he said, don't be going out to get that boy nothing new. I said, look, man, if you think I'm going to get him a hoopty so he can relate to me, that's another thing coming. I said, because that ain't going to happen, but it's going to be reliable. But is it going to be new? A lot of our cars, we bought a lot of cars before that are not new, that were even luxury.
Right.
And some of them I got steals.
But I do be feeling sorry for people when they run out of gas, like right there when they run out of gas, like on the ramp or in like an odd place, and you see them filling it up with the gas thing. And people have been stealing gas too, especially in Houston. They've been ciphering gas.
That's why you need electric. They can't steal no gas.
If you really need a YouTube channel talking about cars, because he could talk about cars.
Y'all give us some love. If you think, let's take a vote. Let the people of America, like all America is watching, let the people of America speak. If you think I need a channel, Tamika tells me that all the time. You think I need a channel talking about cars? Let me know.
Let me tell Andrew, he is hardcore.
And then I need a sponsor. I need y'all to sponsor me.
He has no sympathy. He has no. And this is what he used to. So
I'm hard on what?
We used to have this discussion all the time.
Well, I'm hard what?
When it comes to, gas cars, with my car, so my tires would be lower, certain things like that. And he'd be like, yeah, and just barking at me about my car. Some things I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to participate.
All I used to say is,
oh no, baby, you would go in. And if I didn't have a lot of, you would go in.
If I got in your car, you didn't have gas?
If I didn't have gas, you would go
But that was a long time ago.
You were delivered just a couple of years ago, babe.
A couple of years?
Just a couple of years ago. You just got delivered.
The devil is a lie.
You just got delivered, and you would go in on me, and he would just go.
It's amazing how y'all have selective ammunition.
And it just and you know what, Danica? That's true. People usually run out of gas when they're close to their house. She says, I ran out of gas 2 minutes from my house. The look on my husband's face when he came to get me. Could you imagine?
I was in Uber.
Could you imagine me calling Pastor John F. Ramsey if I ran out of gas?
The answer to that question,
could you imagine,
is no for 300.
He would joan on me for the rest of my existence.
And
after I'd be dead at my funeral, he would say, do y'all remember?
And I'd be talking about
that she was, ain't no way I called
She was a
him.
Non-gas buyer. She was cheap to the core. And she chose to run out of gas.
Thank God she's in heaven now, and gas is not required.
Yeah.
For her to get from
Thank the Lord, she don't need to pump nothing up there.
I would not call him, y'all.
But let me tell you when I love it the most.
When do you love it the most? That you can plug your car in?
Yeah.
I know. I don't like going to the gas.
Because man, when I took the truck to get some gas in this winter, all winter, a couple of times, man, it was brutal outside.
Yeah, I don't. And then with COVID and everything, and I'm having to do this to pump my gas and put them little mittens on and spray the seat, because COVID was at the gas pumps. Yeah, that was a bit much. I agree. I definitely agree with that, but I still don't want to plug my car in.
But your handprint's the only one on the charger at home.
I understand that, but babe, I'm talking about like when you are going different places, you still need to make sure that you have a location to charge it.
Yeah. And
so just learning, I guess, the whole
and what it is that the thing about it is too, is that I read up on all that stuff before I even went that route. Because it was a couple of years trying to get ready to try to be able to get one. But I really did read up a lot about I mean, you
Okay.
really got to be in a tough situation to be able to not have access to power.
That's
And
true.
and in that, typically when I leave the house with,
Mm,
300 miles of range. I'm going, I can go 2, 3 days like that if I need to.
yeah.
But what I often do though too, if I come home, I got 200 miles of range left on there. I pop it in there, it caps it off. And if you want to save on your light bill, you can program it so that it charges during what they call off-peak hours, which is like 9 p.m. to like 6 a.m. And then it's like half the amount.
You know, I'm not doing all that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But with yours, I'd be happy if you just put it in.
Nicole says this. My husband acts like you, First Lady. He will drive his car and then use mine. And on Sunday, he will say, we can get some before church. But let me tell you, he is so bad. I don't even use his car if I don't even drive because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear him say, you didn't put no gas in the car. You didn't plug my car up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
She can't get delivered from however long ago.
I don't want to hear it. Taiwan says, call me First Lady. I got you if you run out of gas. And you would snitch too.
Ain't nobody calling you.
You
be
would
at work.
snitch, Ty.
You work 30 hours a day.
And you would tell. So
it's
no.
only 24 hours in a day. He worked 30 hours a day. You
I
wouldn't
would
be available
not
anyway.
call you Ty because you would show snitch. Not intentionally.
Oh, he better snitch.
But you would let it slip.
He better sell you all the way out is what I know.
Yeah. And then be
I
like,
wish he wouldn't tell me.
Nah, I'm not calling.
Please. You will be the illustration of the day on Sunday.
Of the month. I already
give
know.
Me 17 sermons out of that.
You sure would. So that's why I said, you wouldn't know. Wouldn't tell him. So it was Flow With It Friday. We've been talking
we
about
done already? Oh,
vehicles.
Jesus.
See, because it's, look, Lauren said he would snitch. He sure would.
He would.
And
you would too. You would too, Lauren.
Get stitches.
So all I got to do is look at you. You'd be giving up the ghost.
My pastor. She love her pastor. She love her pastor.
You'd be like, I'm sorry, Pastor. First Lady ran out yesterday. She called me yesterday afternoon, 2:00.
Well, it's been a great discussion today. So I want you that if you didn't get to watch it in its entirety and you are looking for a new car, thinking about getting another car, used car, selling your car, make sure you go back and watch it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you all for being a part, joining us today. We have a good time with you every week. We really do have fun with it. And that's, people ask us, are you guys doing this or making this up? No, this is just us. It's just us having a little bit of fun and hopefully leaving you with information that's gonna stick, that's gonna help a little bit.
Yes.
And whatever decision that you may need to make, whether it's marriage, whether it's finances, whether it's parenting or whatever it is.
That's for sure. And remember, if you have a prayer request, if you want prayer for, your next purchase, if you want wisdom, if you want to be able to save money towards it, put that in the thread. So you could put a hand up if you want prayer for yourself or your family. If there's someone that is sick, dealing with a situation, make sure you put that in the thread as we close out in prayer.
Absolutely. And then don't forget to support JRM, which is Family Room is a part of that. You can text the word give to 844-972-3594. And you can also use the Cash App, and that would be what you would use for that. If you want to support us on today and what we're trying to do. And y'all let me know about that car channel. I'll be down here every night.
So he could talk to y'all about cars instead of talking to me.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
Oh, I would too.
They would love it. And you would love it too.
Yeah. It'd be a lot of fun.
Jeremiah be like, Dad. I'd be like, he's on YouTube.
Jay be down here, Dad.
Where my daddy at? Where my daddy at?
Judy be down here too.
YouTube. Dad.
That's my little car buddy. Judy.
He was saying that this morning. Ma, Dad. I said, he had a meeting this morning. It's me and you, dude. I'm proud of you. Because I was watching the clock to see if you was going to get up. You did
Got up
good.
at 6. I left at 6:30. That gave me an hour to get lost and still find it and be 15 minutes early. Good.
Your daughter came in the room at 2.
You got to be kidding.
Nope, there was a pallet right there on my side of the bed. She was sleeping on the floor.
Oh my God.
God's going to do
the
a new
saga continues.
Ramsey household never fails.
Pray for us.
Yes.
We're in need of deep prayer.
All right.
But anyways, bless you all. Thank you all for being a part.
Are you ready to close?
Also, let me talk about the men's fellowship real quick.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Let's close out in
I
prayer.
can't do that. Okay.
Let's
All right.
close out in
All right.
prayer.
Let's close out in prayer then.
We got some things to work on. We're going to be doing some things in the spring and in the summer as we're coming back in. We're in-person worship at 9 and 12 noon.
Yeah.
We ask that you wear your mask, but we're looking forward.
Yeah,
you
and
being
people
in
are
the
coming
house.
back. And let me say this:
Yes.
come on back to the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's safe. You're going to be in a good situation. If you want to sit up in the balcony, you can do that. Ain't nobody up there.
Yes.
So come on back to the house. Don't let previous concerns, that many of which have been rectified, become an excuse for just staying in a position where you do what you want to on Sundays and God's no longer that kind of priority.
Right.
Please make sure that you get back in the house, because there's a whole lot of benefits to it that you need to be able to experience.
Definitely.
So let's pray today.
Yes.
Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for those that have requested
Lord
prayer,
Jesus.
Lord. You know them name by name, situation by situation. I pray that you would minister to them, that you would meet and supply
Yes, God.
absolutely every one of their needs. Lord, even in financially, God, give us all wisdom for everything that we need to purchase,
God.
Lord. But in particular, we talked about cars today, but give us wisdom on that. Help us
Yes,
to not make emotional decisions. Help us not to make decisions that come back and we end up regretting them a lot later on. But I pray that you would minister to each and every one of us, meet and supply every need, touch those that are experiencing sickness and
Yes, Lord
affliction.
Jesus.
And I pray and speak healing over their bodies
in
in
the name of
Jesus' name.
Jesus.
And we thank you for what you're going to do
Yes, God.
in the future, and what you're going to do
Yes.
even now. In Jesus'
In
name.
Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Have a fantastic Friday, everyone.
Yes, remember, it's March Madness. Turn your televisions on, turn them off to sports channels, and have a good weekend. Be blessed, y'all.